And in tonight's Military Matters, a disabled veteran says American Airlines lost his luggage, ruined his sporting equipment, and broke his wheelchair this week when he returned home from the wheelchair games in Louisville.
Channel 6's Barry Roy sat down with him today after his failed attempts to get the airline to speak with him. Good evening, Barry.
Yeah, good evening to you both. David Villarreal is speaking out because he says if he doesn't, he isn't sure anyone else will. And enough is enough.
You hear a lot of banging and scraping and sounds metal on metal.
David Villarreal is telling you what he heard as he sat on his American Airlines flight Wednesday. His wheelchair, he says, was trashed by ramp agents.
I always have to get off where I'm sitting, get on the floor and fix my chair. Or there's broken parts. They knock the cover off. Now the cover doesn't snap back on. It just slides right off.
David is a Marine Corps veteran and says medical issues have taken their toll.
I've had 5 strokes.
A right side hemiplegic, David's worked tirelessly to regain the use of his right arm and now competes all over the country with the adaptive sports program through Veteran Affairs. A program, he says, that's everything to him and those like him.
They're negligent in my equipment.
David says while this has happened to him, he wants to be the voice of all that suffer at the hands of negligence and suffer the consequences.
I've sat there and watched people, grown men, cry because their chairs won't work anymore. Or people that I've never heard use foul language explode because their chair won't move anymore.
So we reached out to American Airlines today through Twitter and email because David's attempts to reach them, he says, have been ignored. In a statement to Channel 6, American Airlines said, "We apologize to Mr. Villarreal for the negative experience he had on his flight and thank him for his service. We hold all those serving our country and veterans in the highest regard. We are reviewing the incident internally and have reached out to the customer directly to apologize and to help." As David looks to figure out what's next, he says he has heard from the airline directly, but doesn't know what will come from it, if anything at all. But he does know.
Be proactive and taking care of not our equipment, our life. Our life depends on those chairs. And when you don't take care of our way of living, then you just took our life from us.
Chris and Leslie, David says the cost to replace his sporting equipment will come from his pocketbook. There is no timetable on when his chair will be fixed. We'll keep you updated on this story as the investigation by the airline continues.
Yeah, anybody who's traveled knows how frustrating that can be, and the fact that it's happening to a veteran. Thank you, Barry.